Learn English in 2026. No pressure, just progress. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to English Stories. Today is a new beginning. Not a loud beginning, not a rushed one, but a quiet and honest beginning. It is the start of 2026, and for many people, a new year feels heavy. There is pressure in the air, pressure to change, pressure to improve, pressure to finally get everything right. Maybe you feel it too. Everywhere you look, people are talking about goals, big goals, fast results, perfect plans, and maybe deep inside, you already feel tired. Because when it comes to learning English, you have tried before. You started with hope. You told yourself this year will be different. But after some time, you felt stuck. You felt slow. You felt disappointed in yourself. And maybe you started to believe something painful. Maybe you thought you were lazy, or not good at languages, or that English is simply not for you. If you feel this way, I want you to pause for a moment and take a slow breath. You are not lazy, you are not weak, and you are not failing. You are just tired of pressure. You are tired of chasing English like it is something running away from you. You are tired of feeling like you are always behind. So today, we begin differently. In 2026, we are not chasing English. We are growing with it. And there is a big difference. When you chase something, you feel stress, you feel fear, you feel like time is against you. But when you grow with something, you feel calm, you feel patience, you feel trust. This year, we remove the pressure. No more forcing yourself to be perfect. No more comparing your progress to others. No more punishing yourself for slow days. Instead, we choose progress. Small progress. Quiet progress. Real progress. Progress that happens when you show up, even when you are tired, even when you only have 10 minutes, even when you don't feel motivated. Because progress does not need motivation. It needs consistency. It needs kindness. It needs time. English is not a test you pass or fail. It is not a race you win or lose. English is a skill that grows slowly, just like confidence, just like strength, just like trust. And here, in this podcast, you are safe. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to listen. You only need to stay. You only need to continue. So as we begin this journey together in 2026, remember one simple sentence, a sentence you can carry with you every day. No pressure, just progress. And I'm here with you. Many English learners carry the same quiet pain, even if they never say it out loud. Maybe you are carrying it right now. You tell yourself, I tried many times, and I quit. And each time you quit, it feels heavier than the time before. You don't quit because you don't care. You quit because you care too much, and you are tired of feeling disappointed. You sit down to study, you listen, you repeat, you try to focus, but inside you think, I study, but I don't feel better. Days pass, weeks pass, and the progress you expect does not appear in a clear way. And then another thought comes, a very painful one. Others improve faster than me. You see people speaking confidently online. You hear stories about fast success. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to compare your inside life to other people's outside results. This comparison is quiet, but it is dangerous. When you compare yourself to others, you stop listening to your own journey. You forget that everyone starts in a different place, with a different life, a different schedule, and a different mind. Another reason this pain grows is because many learners set goals that are too big and too heavy. You tell yourself, "I must be fluent this year," or "I must speak perfectly." And these goals sound strong, but they create fear. When a goal feels too big, your brain feels pressure. And when the brain feels pressure, it wants to escape. That is why many people start with excitement and then slowly stop. There is also the desire for fast results. We live in a world where everything is quick. One click, one video, one shortcut. And without realizing it, we expect language to work the same way. But language does not change in days or weeks. It changes slowly, quietly, inside your brain. When progress is slow, it becomes invisible. And when you cannot see progress, you begin to doubt yourself. This doubt does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. But here's the truth that many people never hear. Pressure kills progress. Pressure makes learning feel heavy. Pressure turns practice into punishment. And when learning feels like punishment, the mind wants to run away. That is why today, we're not here to add more pressure to your life. We're here to remove it. Because the moment pressure disappears, progress finally has space to grow. Now it is time to change the way we see English, because before we change our habits, we must change our beliefs. Many people learn English as if it is a race. They feel like they are running against time, against age, against other learners. They think there is a finish line, and if they do not reach it fast enough, they have failed. But English is not a race. There is no competition. There is no clock counting down. There is no moment where it suddenly becomes too late. Learning English does not depend on your age, your past mistakes, or how many times you stopped before. The only thing that matters is that you are here now. When you stop seeing English as a race, your body relaxes, your mind opens, and learning becomes possible again. English is not something you must chase or catch. English is something you build a relationship with. And like all relationships, it grows through time, attention, and patience. First, you listen. You listen again and again. And slowly the sounds become familiar. When sounds feel familiar, you stop fighting them. When you stop fighting, you begin to understand. And when understanding grows, speaking appears naturally, not forced, not rushed, not perfect, but real. This is how language works. This is how your brain works. We often forget that we already know this, because we learned our first language in exactly the same way. Think about a child learning to speak. A child listens for months, sometimes for years, before speaking clearly. No one tells the child they are too slow. No one compares them to other children every day. No one says, "You failed because you cannot speak yet." The child is allowed to repeat the same words again and again. The child is allowed to make mistakes. The child is allowed to be silent. And because there is no pressure, Learning happens naturally. As adults, we forget this process. We judge ourselves too quickly. We expect fast results. We feel embarrassed when we do not understand something immediately. But your brain did not change. It still learns the same way. It still needs repetition. It still needs time. It still needs safety. When you slow down your English, you are not falling behind. You are building something strong. Speed can create noise, but slowness creates clarity. That is why slow English is not weak English. Slow English is real English. Pressure often enters our English journey quietly. It does not arrive loudly. It comes as a small voice in your head that says, "I must be fluent," or "I must speak perfectly." At first, these thoughts sound positive. They sound like motivation. But over time, they become heavy. They turn learning into a test, and they turn every mistake into proof that you are not good enough. When you believe you must be fluent, you are secretly telling yourself that where you are now is not acceptable. When you believe you must speak perfectly, you stop speaking at all, because perfection creates fear. This kind of pressure does not help you learn. It makes your body tense and your mind closed. That is why many learners feel tired before they even begin. So now, take a slow breath, because we are going to remove this pressure together. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need to sound like anyone else. English is not asking you to perform. English is inviting you to communicate. And communication does not require perfection. It requires presence. When you slow down, your brain feels safer. When your brain feels safe, it can learn. Speaking fast may look impressive, but it often hides confusion and stress. Feeling comfortable, on the other hand, creates clarity. When you feel comfortable, you listen better. When you listen better, you understand more. And when understanding grows, speaking becomes easier. Comfort always comes before fluency. That is why we change the focus. We do not ask, "How fast can I speak?" We ask, "Do I feel calm when I listen? Do I feel less afraid than before? Do I understand a little more today than yesterday?" These are signs of real progress. Many learners believe that if they slow down, they are falling behind. But the truth is the opposite. Slowing down is how you build something that lasts. Think about building a house. If you rush the foundation, the house will not stand. Language works the same way. You are not behind because you are slow. You are building because you are slow. Every time you choose to listen instead of forcing yourself to speak, you are building. Every time you repeat without judging yourself, you are building. Every time you show up on a day when you feel tired, you are building. Progress is not loud. It does not announce itself. It grows quietly inside your brain, inside your confidence. Some days you will not feel any change. That does not mean nothing is happening. It means the work is happening below the surface. So if you ever feel frustrated, remember this simple truth and repeat it to yourself gently. You are not behind. You are building. Now let's talk about progress, because many learners are looking for the wrong signs. They wait for a big moment, a wow feeling, a day when everything suddenly becomes easy. But real progress in English is much quieter than that. It does not arrive with excitement or fireworks. Instead, it shows up in small, gentle changes. One day you notice that listening feels a little easier. Another day you realize you are not as scared when you hear English. Maybe you understand one more sentence than yesterday. These moments may feel small, but they are powerful. They mean your brain is changing. Progress is not about feeling amazing. Progress is about feeling a little more familiar, a little more calm, a little more confident than before. Once you understand this, learning becomes lighter. You stop chasing big results and start respecting small steps. And small steps, when repeated, always move you forward. That is why we follow a very simple rule: 10 minutes a day. Not because 10 minutes is magical, but because 10 minutes feels safe. Your brain does not resist it. 10 minutes does not create pressure. 10 minutes is easy to start. And starting is the most important part. When you listen every day, even for a short time, your brain stays connected to English. This connection is what builds understanding. We also follow a simple order. Listen first, then speak, then repeat. Listening prepares the mind. Speaking comes naturally when listening feels familiar. Repetition strengthens everything. And there is one rule you must remember. Do not miss 2 days in a row. Missing one day is human. Life happens. But missing 2 days creates distance. Distance makes returning harder. So when you miss one day, simply come back the next day without guilt. Guilt is heavy, and heavy emotions slow learning. English grows best in a light environment. That is why we also connect English to real life. You do not need special time or special energy. You can listen while you walk. You can listen while you wash the dishes. You can listen before you sleep. These moments already exist in your day. You are not adding pressure. You are adding exposure. And exposure is how the brain learns language. Many people think they need long study sessions to improve, but intensity often leads to burnout. Consistency creates trust. When you show up every day, even in small ways, your brain learns that English is safe, familiar, and part of your life. Over time, this daily contact changes how you feel. Fear becomes smaller. Understanding becomes stronger. Speaking becomes easier. This is not fast, but it is real. So remember this simple truth as you continue. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Now let's talk about discipline, because this word often scares people. When many learners hear the word discipline, they imagine strict rules, long study hours, and punishment for mistakes. They imagine forcing themselves to continue even when they feel exhausted. But that is not the discipline we are building here. The discipline we need is gentle. It is not about pushing harder. It is about showing up with kindness. Discipline is not forcing yourself to do more than you can handle. It is not blaming yourself when you miss a day. It is not using shame as motivation. Shame is heavy, and heavy feelings make people quit. Real discipline is much simpler and much softer. It is the quiet decision that says, I show up even on bad days. Bad days are normal. Some days you feel tired. Some days you feel busy. Some days you feel discouraged.
Discipline does not ask you to be strong on those days.
It only asks you to stay connected. That connection can be very small. 1 minute is enough. 1 sentence is enough. 1 short moment of listening is enough. What matters is not the amount of time. What matters is the message you send to yourself. And that message is, I did not disappear. This is how discipline becomes part of your identity. Identity is powerful. When you see yourself as someone who listens to English every day, your actions become easier. You are not deciding again and again. You are simply being who you are. Just like brushing your teeth is not a big decision, listening to English becomes natural. Even on days when you don't feel motivated, you still listen, not because you love it, but because it is part of you. On very bad days, when everything feels heavy, lower the bar. Do not skip completely. Lower it. 1 minute counts. 1 sentence counts. Showing up in a small way keeps the chain alive. And when the chain stays alive, quitting becomes less likely. Many people quit not because learning is too hard, but because they break the connection for too long. Gentle discipline protects that connection. It allows you to continue without fear, without guilt, and without pressure. And that is how learning becomes long-term. As we move closer to the end of this episode, I want to invite you to make a promise for 2026, but not a big promise and not a perfect one. Big promises often sound strong, but they break easily. Perfect promises create pressure, and pressure pushes people away. This year, we choose something different. We choose a small, quiet promise, a promise that feels gentle and honest. You do not promise to be fluent. You do not promise to study for hours. You do not promise to never fail. You only promise 3 simple things. First, you promise to show up. Showing up does not mean doing a lot. It means staying connected. It means listening even when you feel tired. It means opening English for a few minutes even on busy days. Showing up is about presence, not performance. Second, you promise to be patient. Language grows slowly, and impatience creates pain. Being patient means allowing yourself to learn at your own pace. It means accepting quiet days and invisible progress. It means understanding that your brain is changing even when you cannot see it yet. Patience is not weakness. It is strength that lasts. Third, you promise to continue. Continuing does not mean never stopping. It means coming back. It means returning after a bad day. It means not quitting when things feel boring or slow. Progress does not disappear because of one mistake. It disappears when we stop completely. That is why continuing is more important than doing things perfectly. Remember this simple truth. 1 sentence a day is still a step forward. 1 minute of listening still counts. 1 small action still moves you closer than yesterday. These small steps build trust with yourself. They tell your mind that English is safe, that learning is possible, and that you are capable of staying. In 2026, this promise is enough. It is light enough to carry and strong enough to change your life, 1 quiet step at a time. As we come to the end of today's episode, I want you to know one simple thing. You are not walking this path alone. Learning English can feel lonely sometimes, especially when progress is slow and quiet. But I will be here with you. This podcast will be here with you. One day at a time, one episode at a time, one sentence at a time. You do not need to rush ahead. You do not need to catch up to anyone else. You only need to keep walking. And walking is easier when you do not walk alone. If this space feels calm, if these words feel safe, I invite you to stay. Follow this podcast so we can continue together. Make listening part of your daily life, not as a task, but as a moment for yourself. You can listen while you walk, while you rest, while you prepare for your day, or slow down at night. Let English become a gentle companion, not a heavy responsibility. When you listen daily, even for a short time, you build a quiet rhythm, and rhythm is what keeps you moving forward without pressure. In 2026, we are not here to be perfect students. We are here to be consistent learners. We are here to build something real, something lasting. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel slow. Both are part of the journey. And whenever you feel tired or unsure, remember that this space is here for you. We will walk together through this year, through these small steps, through the moments you feel progress and the moments you do not feel anything at all. They all matter. So as you close this episode, carry this message with you. No pressure, just progress. Welcome to your English year. As we come to the end of this episode, let's take a quiet moment to look back at what we shared together today. We talked about releasing pressure and choosing progress. We talked about slowing down instead of rushing, about building habits instead of chasing perfect results, and about learning English in a way that feels calm, human, and sustainable. This is not a method built on fear or comparison. It is a path built on patience, consistency, and self-trust. And if there is one thing I hope you remember from this episode, it is this. You are not behind. You are building. Learning English is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more comfortable being yourself in another language. Every minute you listen, every sentence you repeat, every day you show up, even quietly, you are moving forward. Progress may not always be visible, but it is always happening when you stay connected. You don't need to be perfect to improve. You don't need to feel motivated every day. You only need to continue, gently and honestly. If this episode made you feel calmer, more hopeful, or more confident about your English journey, I want to thank you for being here and for giving yourself this time. Your time and your attention matter. By listening today, you already took a step forward, and that step counts. One sentence a day is still progress. One episode at a time is still growth. If you feel that this podcast supports you, I encourage you to take a small action right now. Like this episode if it resonated with you. Share it with someone who may also be struggling with pressure or self-doubt in learning English. Sometimes, one shared episode can change how someone feels about themselves. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. Subscribing is not just about numbers. It is about choosing consistency and giving yourself a space you can return to every day. Make English stories part of your routine. Listen while you walk, while you rest, while you prepare for your day, or wind down at night. Let English become something familiar and friendly in your life. Over time, this quiet routine will create confidence without stress and fluency without force. Thank you for trusting me, and thank you for walking this path with me. I truly believe that slow progress, done daily, can change not only your English, but also how you see yourself as a learner. I'll be here with you, one episode at a time, one day at a time. Take care of yourself, keep showing up, and remember our message for this year. No pressure, just progress. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.